But we make history today only because we must. In 2008, after 2 stolen presidential elections and 8 years of George W. Bush, and at least 2 years of Democratic Party complicity, the racket is about war crimes, torture, crimes against the peace. The racket is about crimes against the Constitution, crimes against the American people, and crimes against the global community. The racket is even about values that we thought were long settled. Had the Green Party's values been reflected in public policy since the beginnings of the Green Party in this country, the United States would long ago have implemented a livable wage. There would be no civil liberties erosion. Diversity would be respected, appreciated, and welcomed. Education would be interesting and relevant to students' lives. And no student would graduate college $100,000 in debt in a Green Party USA. Because education, not incarceration and militarization, would be subsidized by the state. In a Green Party USA, health care would be provided for everyone, here through a single-payer Medicare for all type. Not a word has been mentioned in this political season about the disparities that exist within our country, with the recognition that public policy can erase them. And even though, for the first time, a woman and an African American were being taken seriously in national primaries, a real discussion of race and gender has studiously been avoided on all sides. At a time when the United States is under review itself by the United Nations for its poor domestic record on human rights, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, a real discussion of race and gender is needed now more than ever. On some indices, according to United for a Fair Economy, the racial disparities that exist today are worse than at the time of the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. Right here in Chicago, Hull House reported that it would take 200 years without a public policy intervention from elected leadership for the quality of life experienced by Black Chicagoans to equal that of white Chicagoans. Women are still the overwhelming profile of the minimum wage worker in this country. 65% of all minimum wage workers are women, according to 2005 statistics. Despite the law, women still go to work every day, performing the same tasks as men, yet bring home less pay than their male counterparts. Asian American and Pacific Island women make 88 cents for every dollar earned by men. But African American women earn only 72 cents, and my Latina sisters earn only 60 cents for every dollar earned by men. Overall, according to 2007 statistics, women with similar education, skills, and experience are paid 77 cents for every dollar a man makes. Equal pay for equal work is not yet a reality for working women in this country, and the glass ceiling is all too real. I'm very proud of my second cousin, Shantae, whose mother, a divorcee, raised her pretty much as a single mom. Shantae's mother, Shara, understood the value of her child getting a good education and helped her as much as she could with university tuition. The rest, Shantae was able to secure by working on campus and with student loans. Shantae graduated from college and then took a one-year master's program in social work. And now she wants to get her PhD, but she's already over $90,000 in debt. It doesn't have to be this way, and it isn't this way in other countries. In other countries around the world, higher education is valued and is made affordable to all who want it. Only a sick government would place a banker in between a student and her teacher, and insurance lines in between a patient and his doctor, lying and spying before a 911 truth and the Constitution. Only a sick government would place a wealthy family and their huge corporation and its genetically modified frankenfood peddled by force in between us and the organic food that's healthy for us to eat and that farmers prefer to grow. Only a sick government would do these things. I am no longer willing to trust the ones who are responsible for getting us into this mess to provide the solution to get us out of it. The Green Party long ago took a stand for racial justice, against profiling, against police brutality, against discrimination of any sort, and for reparations stemming from the transatlantic slave trade. The Green Party long ago took a stand for gender equity. The Green Party is a justice party, and a green vote is a justice vote. And the day after the election, if voters have been disfranchised and don't believe the announced election results, it will be the Green Party that will be there, as it was in 2004, to demand election integrity. It is for all these reasons and more that I redeclare my goals in the language of the sisters who convened at Seneca Falls 160 years ago. They wrote, "It is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their security." That declaration not only avoids the politics of the past, it contains a kernel for the future. How can those new guards be secured? Here's how. When I was first running for Congress, and it was the year of the woman, women all over the country were saying, "We want our seat at the table." And when I got to Washington, I saw that public policy is really made in a room at a table. There were real seats at the table. Well, imagine what has happened to public policy making now. There is a real room with a window and a door, and there's 2 seats at the table. The window is for us to look through, while our representatives make policy for us, so we can see what they're doing. At the table, 1 seat is for the Democrats, 1 seat is for the Republicans. Now, we don't know who did it, but one of them put a lock on the door and slipped a key to the corporate lobbyists who can come and go at will and whisper what they want to Democrats and Republicans. And the result is that we, the people who pay for those seats and determine who sits in them, want one thing, but because the corporate lobbyists can come and go at will, our values get overridden and our representatives give us something else. That's how we end up with everyone saying they're against the war and occupation, but war and occupation still gets funding. That's how we end up with everyone saying they're against illegal spying on innocent people, yet end up with a telecom immunity bill being signed into law. That's how we end up with everyone saying they're in favor of universal access to health care and no one supporting what the physicians, nurses, and healthcare providers really want, and that's a single-payer healthcare system in this country. Now, if we can entice people who have stopped voting because they see the system is rigged to become active again and to vote green, if we can convince those first-time voters from the previous 2 presidential elections, though they might be discouraged because they saw their vote obstructed and then not counted while neither of the big parties fought to protect them, if we can convince them to vote green, if we can convince those who see 2 parties but only 1 political agenda to vote green, then it is possible for the Green Party to get 5% of the national vote. 5% of the vote makes the Green Party not a minor party in the eyes of the federal government, but a major party. 5% confers on the Green Party major party status. And with that 5%, we can pull up another chair at the table of public policy makers. It only takes 5% of those who vote, including the near majority who don't vote, to come out for the Green Party, and we will have an official 3rd party in this country and public policy that truly reflects our values.